Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears Pro League. I'm Blaze, joined with the fantastic PR, and we are about to enter our third series of the day. So far, so good. In our first two, we won at least 4 maps, and the victors were Team Queso and the Pioneers. Now we got to head on over towards Rise versus eUnited, and I think we're at least going 4 at minimum with these two teams as well, Jacob.
Honestly, Blaze, anything less than 4 is going to be a letdown overall, because we've been so entertained today, like you said. And honestly, eUnited, the team that's in first place, Rise, floating around that place. I don't know exactly, but I know there's a couple of teams with only 1 loss, and I do believe they might be second place, actually, as it instantly pops in my head.
They are. Yep, Rise is second place. So this is the battle for first place in our league. Can Rise take it from eUnited, or will eUnited continue to guard that spot at the top of the hill? We're about to find out soon with both these squads. But as we head in here first, let's talk a little bit about Rise's roster. Consisted of Rushiez, Avexys, DeToX, and they got INZEM back this season. This Rise team over the last few splits, I feel like have just continued to get better and better and better. Now, starting off this season, I feel like INZEM was a little bit slow to the punch, but you know, he's been picking up his gameplay over these last few weeks, Jacob.
No, I gotta agree with you, and it kind of shows early on. Even though he was having some sluggish performances upon his return, they were still within arm's length of either winning the series, in which they did, or barely losing some of those series. So for Rise, I think INZEM is kind of like a plug-and-play style player. Even though they lost Icy, who's very, very impactful, not only onto this Rise roster, but Gears Esports in general. You bring in another Slayer, another person who knows how to hold forwards, bounce like a beast, and pop shots when needed. And I think INZEM, it's just only going to take a matter of time, is going to fit perfectly, and they're going to start playing to their full potential, which is scary, because we just said they're already in second place.
Exactly, you know, and like the first few weeks he was playing with his fight stick, okay, but now he's got his controller back in his hand. He's ready to do it up with the boys, so he's been looking good. Now, let's move on forward. eUnited, Powerz, TJ, Demise, Dyslexic. When it comes down to probably about the last 10 days of our league, like the last week or so, this has been the best team in our league, okay? eUnited. They looked good last week when they took over and they won E-Days. They looked good in the Pro League in their matchup. And then we asked ourselves, well, if this is the squad that eUnited is evolving into, then who's going to possibly be able to stop them?
Yeah, ever since Dyslexic kind of joined this squad, you can see their aggression kind of increased tenfold. Powerz is just playing on another level, and Powerz, I think, might be the next best player behind Monkeys statistic-wise, even though they're already in first place. But to me, that doesn't say anything bad necessarily about Powerz being second to Monkeys. That just means TJ is stepping up. That just means Demise is making plays, and Dyslexic, as soon as he finds his comfortability, because I think very, very similar to INZEM, I don't think this team is there yet either. I think Dyslexic still has some issues to overcome to find his complete role within this roster.
All right, yeah, and he's going to find that role soon, okay? But when it comes down to a player who knows his role on his team, the captain himself, the man on Rise with the plan, hell, Big Drake, it's Avexys, all right? When it comes down to the execution KDA, first in the league, second in average damage per respawn, and then he's going to have second in overall kill participation, all right? When it comes down to this player and these stats, come on.
I had to like
match made in heaven.
Dust my eyes off real quick. I thought I was seeing Tom Brady for a second with the numbers that he's putting up. But I was like, nah, Tom Brady retired. He's gone. He's out of it. This is Avexys Brady, the way he's controlling the team. It doesn't matter who he's playing with by his side. He's just controlling the tempo for his roster. And that's what I like about Avexys. He's one of the aggressive players. He's one of those players who leads by example. He wouldn't send anybody on his roster to do anything he wouldn't do himself. And I think that's true. Also completes this roster, because everybody knows the role in which they should be playing at every single moment.
Exactly. Every single moment, okay? And, you know, you saw the drapes on his hair. That's like an old photo of him. I think I got Jay beat now. I think I got him beat with my hair. If we was to go toe to toe, inch for inch. Now let's put these teams toe to toe against each other when it comes down to the map cycle. Map 1, District Control. Execution Canals, Map 2. Vasgar Escalation, Map 3. Regency Control and check out Execution to close out our cycle. Jacob, this is gonna be good.
Like it. I love
This
this
is gonna be
cycle.
really good.
This just screams aggression, and I like Avexys being the player to watch, plays, because he reminds me of you. The way he takes over Canals with the sniper in his hand, he rotates it high side, he goes low side, and no matter where he brings it, he just finds connections with that headshot. But I think the real story is district control. eUnited picks that map, but it's also a map that Rise is no stranger to, so they can easily come out the gate swinging. They can put themselves to a lead, gain that momentum. But at the end of the day, Blaze, I would not be surprised if I saw all 5 maps appear before our eyes on this side.
I wouldn't either. The eUnited is pretty much 50-50 on every map but district control when it comes down to their pro league record. They're undefeated when it comes down to that. And then on the flip side, when it comes down to Rise, you know, district control, they're gonna be at 1-1. Regency control, they're at 2-1. Canals and checkout, they're 1-0. They haven't played. They're 1-0 and 1-1. So, 3-0 on Vasgar. Okay, that's the one stat line that I was kind of looking for in this series. 3-0 on Vasgar. So with all the intel that we've kind of discussed and we've talked about, and really kind of like seeing their stats and their records, eUnited needs to take map number 1 in this series, and Rise needs to take map number 3. All right, that's that. Now, Rise don't want to find themselves down 2-0 in this series, so we'll see how it kind of plays out for them. But for me, this is a must-win map number 1 for eUnited, because I'm favoring Rise in maps 2 and 3. So if eUnited falls short, it's going to be a tough series for them. And with that being said, let's kind of move on over into our predictions, okay? Jacob, I'm going to let you go first this time.
I'm happy to do it, because I think one of the biggest keys to success in this matchup for Rise is shutting down Powerz and forcing somebody else to step up and make that big play for the team. Because I talked about Powerz stats, statistically number 2 behind Monkeys, and that's only in some categories. You see Avexys as well, kind of leading the top of those charts on the side of Rise. But there's more than just stats right here. We know how great Avexys can play. DeToX has stepped up, but eUnited will not get shut down. The key is to shut down Powerz, but even if you do that, you got Dyslexic, you got TJ, and you got Demise, 3 players who are hard to overcome. If Rise is going to win this series, honestly, Blaze, I think it has to come through a 3-0. I honestly do. I don't think this series goes in 3-1 Rise. I don't think it's 3-2 Rise. If Rise is going to win this series, I feel like it's 3-0. And so I don't think we're going to see a 3-0. I thought we were going to see 15 maps today. I'm going to eUnited.
United. All right. Now, I hear what you're saying on that one too. You know, so for me, I personally don't think it needs to be a 3-0 for Rise. I think that when it comes down towards the middle of this cycle, they'll be okay. When it's going to be the Canals execution, the Vasgar escalation, and I do believe the Regency control there as well. Those 3 maps in the middle, then going into an execution at the end, Rise, they're going to feel okay and comfortable in that. But the way that eUnited has been played, who cares if Rise look at the map cycle and say, okay, yeah, you know, we got this map and that map. You still have to come out and perform. And after the eUnited we saw last week, they look like the best team in our league. Okay, they are the best team in our league. But even with that being said and seeing the map cycle on paper, I think Rise can do this. And I'm going to have to go with Rise in this series. You know, the one thing is that I need for Rise to come out on top. I need for INZEM to step up and show out. Okay. If he does that, the rest of the squad, they know the job in which they got to get done. I think this map cycle is going to favor them a lot. And they got a game plan coming into it. So Rise, okay. Hey, I'm with you. Take the crown back. All right. eUnited is holding in front of your faces. You want it? Take it. Your time is now. So chat, me and Jacob, we're split once again. He got eUnited. I got Rise. Chat, how you guys feeling? Because we made some fantastic points around both these rosters, but you guys feel like eUnited is going to come out on top today. So me and chat, we're different in this pick. You know, Jacob, you know, he's trying to get first place in these prediction races and he's trying to move up to the top, get some ties. But, you know, we're just trying to have a great show. And I think that we're going to get this one when it comes down to eUnited and Rise, because we get it every time we watch both these squads play up against each other. And I know at this point, eUnited, they're trying to plan and release all the pictures they got of me at their booth in Raleigh and us having a great time and saying, dang on Blaze, you rocking with us like this off camera, but on camera, back to back, you're not.
Glad to have a matchup like this too, Blaze, because like I said, as soon as this inches closer and closer towards that major, you see a lot of teams, they're going ahead and testing themselves even farther. You might have some moments where some trick straps, surprise maps might come through, but at the end of the day, they want that victory, and these teams are going to do everything that they can, and they're also going to try to prepare those little strategies, those little moments that they try and trap a team and probably save for that major. But I think in order to win this series overall, like I said, I think Rise need to close it out in a 3-0 fashion, because I do see them possibly winning that map number 2. District, I think it depends on the Powerz start, but I think he's going to start as consistent as he always does. Then maybe we see a 1-1, but then that escalation on Vasgar is going to be really telling. And it's hard for me to see Rise pulling out a convincing victory. That's why I said they need to win it 3-0, similar to their Pioneers matchup early on in the season.
I feel like if Rise do lose the Vasgar escalation, I think it's an L in the series. You know what I'm saying? I think if they lose that one, they'll be demoralized in a sense where it's going to be an L in a series for them. But if they do good and win in the first 2 maps, then I think they're okay if they got the cushion. It just depends on what the situation is going to look like. Jacob, you sure you don't want to change your pick? You know, are you sure I can pull you on over towards the Rise side over here? Are you good with the United?
That entices me to maybe change my pick, which I'm not. I did that with PK early on this season to try to make up some ground, but it's just right now, United just looking too hot, man. The only thing that'll get me to maybe switch my mind is Rise jersey.
Ooh.
Get a Rise jersey.
I look good in Rise jersey. Where Keem at when you need him? We're not Keem so much. We're Reem at.
Both of them.
Okay. Both of them, Reem and Keem. Okay. We're the Eames. Because me and Jacob need to get some jerseys on our back as soon as possible. All right. Let us know. Hit us up. DMs open all times. Chat. It's about to be underway. It's the 3rd series of the day. Rise versus eUnited. About to get pumping, and we don't know who's going to come out on top, but we know it's going to be a good one. Jacob, take us away.
Rise versus EU, similar strategy all the way. A full-on war 3v3 towards the top half of the map where Powerz, he gets that first down, tries to go in, quickly revive back up, and the downs are traded back and forth with Rushiez being that player, getting that double kill to kind of open up the game. DeToX gets one as well. I don't know how he did it, but Demise was able to get that drop shot and burn it, which means it's not going to go to play, but the early battle is won by Rise.
Early battle won by Rise as they got control of the map. For now, that is. It's going to be a 2v1 battle down low for the nades as INZEM by himself. He takes a shot over the top of the cover, but Rise knows that they have the man advantage up top. DeToX showing discipline, and this is good for Rise for now, as they got about 30 points remaining on his heel. Avexys has a great cross for his team. DeToX don't have to worry about nothing but hitting that shot in front of him. He gives up his position because he knows he has to cross, and he wants to open it up for Rushiez to be able to make a play, for Avexys to be able to get into action, and they will.
They get that down onto INZEM towards that shock grenade low side, Blaze. They leave him to die. He spawns exactly in that same spot and puts all that Lancer fire on eUnited, rotating towards the top half of the map. And after hill number 1, I thought they were going to go ahead and skunk them 52-0, but eUnited not going down. They want at least 5 points to get things going, as this next hill does go over. Early positioning goes over to Rise. Misroll from DeToX. He gets crossed out. I do believe Rushiez was going to fall as well, so eUnited, they have a 4v2 advantage that they can take advantage of. Avexys going to fall, make it 4v1. INZEM goes out, and after a bad start, eUnited get full control over this next hill.
United, that's a good start for them to be able to get towards this spine, get set up, and spread out. It's going to be Rise coming from the top portion of the map. They got a presence here in the middle. They got 2 players towards the back spine. Can they get the head count? They got Avexys coming in from Juice. eUnited here on the defense with a player marked towards the back. They're going to keep him back just a bit more. Rise maybe wanting to give up this heal because they didn't put no pressure on the bottom ends of the map to even contest. It's because Rise wants to play for the drop shot. eUnited had to leave a player to go contest for. That's a great shot coming out from Dyslexic as he was stuck in a corner, now trying to get out of dodge. INZEM will clean him up. It's Rise still collected on time on this hill with 18 seconds remaining. They'll tip their head off to eUnited and say, hey, you can have that one, but we got the drop shot And we got spawns for next.
Answer back from eUnited off this one. And Avexys with the drop shot on his back, leading out TJ. You got Powerz grabbing that shot grenade towards the bottom half of the map. Avexys is just waiting for that perfect moment to use the drop shot. I feel like eUnited have to try to figure out a way to get him to waste it, burn a player early on. No matter the case, Avexys has a chance to win this team fight for the team and possibly blow this early lead open.
When does he want to use it? Honestly, the player with the best stats in our league, Avexys, I think the only one who's close to him is Monkeys, but the shot doesn't connect. And we see it was a great decision from him, okay? It was just not deep enough. Good action, but it slows down their opponent. Now eUnited moving in. Avexys knows he has to get down on the left. Rushiez with the cross, screaming to his teammates that I'm here, don't die, but they can't stay alive. And Rushiez is left in a 1v2. Just when like Rise hit all the angles in the world.
That's more than just scrap time that's going to be awarded to eUnited. So Rise, they cannot waste time here. They have to decide with 45 on the actual hill, about 38 on that drop shot respawn. They might have to concede this hill with 3 players left alive. They got to find a pick and then play for that drop shot as DeToX gets taken out by Powerz. Both of them were put full red, but it's eUnited because they have the reinforcement towards the backside. They're going to go ahead and get the scrap time left on this hill and position themselves for this next drop shot.
All right, now we'll be able to get this next drop as Demise is kind of stuck here towards the back of the corner. He'll be able to get this shot grenade. This team is going to need that just a bit, especially when it comes down to playing for this bandstand hill. The 1v1 was won by INZEM up top up against TJ. He'll be able to press down towards the bottom of the stairs. That's going to set Rise up for the power weapon as well. Trying to take over both Juice and Info. They got to worry about TJ off the respawn. They know he's there. That's a good stun. INZEM's going to join with DeToX, but TJ almost made a play taking out the drop shot player. He was so close, Jacob.
Another drop shot in the hands of Rise. That's 2 out of 3 drop shots in the hand of Rise, and they're almost doubled up on the score line. 52 of their 65 points were scored off of hill number 1. Since then, it's been about 120 to 13 run for eUnited. Avexys finds that down onto Dyslexic. They're going to go ahead and leave him there, get the elimination before the rotation comes in. It's absolutely good for Rise, but they're not letting that reflect into the scoreline. It's eUnited that still have full control, regardless of INZEM in the drop shot.
Regardless of his position, it's eUnited who are continuing to collect on this time. Great shot coming out from Dyslexic. They'll be able to take out that player in the spawn. They'll find another one too. INZEM with a double kill on a drop shot. Allows his team to continue to collect on points here on this next hill. But when it comes down to the spawn for Pergola, Jacob, Rise is doing everything in their power to keep control of it. And so far, so good. But eUnited will be able to break through here towards the back. Powerz hits a decent shot, but not well enough. He opens the door for Demise to get some damage in on the side, but Demise gets pressed by Avexys. Avexys taken out. Rushiez left in a 1v2. A flash goes down. He's playing for the retreat. Well placed from Rushiez. He finds a safe spot. He reset the fight. It's a 1v1. He tried to take over, but Powerz sound back A from him.
Now you can see in that fight there when that 3v3 was going down, because of the slow reaction from Rise to take that backside, all of the high ground went to eUnited, and this is going to be the result for Rise. They somehow get towards that same backline, get the position, and they're just pushing eUnited out of the hill by force to deny them out, but TJ gets 2, almost gets that 3rd onto INZEM, but he's going to be that last stand. Drop shot in the hands yet again in Rise. Once they start figuring out how to utilize these to the most and get the most out of these drop shots, they are going to gain the lead. But for now, they're still going to be on the back foot.
Yeah, for now, they are just still on the back foot until they can get themselves this lead and start getting comfortable. They started off good in that P1. They're doing a great job playing together. Great shots out from Dyslexic. You see how he gets the damage and he moves. He gets the damage, he gets out. He waits for his teammates. It's him making some huge plays, but you see what makes him such a special player in this fight. Some damage, he backs up. A little defensive play style, but also offensive at the same time. He's going to say, you know what, let me exit, but he couldn't make it out. It's Rise who gets the rest of the scrap time.
They figured out a way to stay alive, get out. That would have been a great situation there. 40 points scored off of that last hill for Rise. So they're slowly but surely climbing themselves back in, but still 20 scored off eUnited. So it wasn't a blowout in terms of score differential on that last one. So Rise definitely has more work ahead of them. 3v1 Wolfpack from eUnited. We're going to find that down onto Rushiez. Cement themselves with the low ground, but the high ground still goes to Rise. So they had all the opportunity in the world to break free once they get that first initial pick, first initial down, whatever comes first for them.
Whatever comes first. Oh, Rushiez got that angle. Having to force dyslexic back. He's making Demise feel uncomfortable. You see the down there. Rushiez backs up. He pulls his flash to just slow down the player trying to clean up the kill on him. He may even be able to get revived. Nah, he's gonna have to take his own life, but he did leave a flash on the ground for somebody. And flashes are as good as gold here at this level of gameplay. TJ's getting flamed. Yeah, he got flamed by Rushiez, and Rushiez knows that, hey, I'm gonna get my kill and I'm gonna get my flash. I got two now.
Rushiez with two flashes is definitely deadly, because he gets you a stun with one of those two as Rise gets yet another drop shot underneath their control and blaze. Like I said, and if they keep control of this power weapon, they'll become a time in the match, and that time is now. They've gained the lead away from eUnited. They're going to go ahead and abandon this hill, but it's only scrap time left. eUnited's going to get the lead back, but if Rise continues to play in towards their Wolfpack, utilize that power weapon, they'll have control of the next hill. And majority of that time as INZEM hits a back A to take out TJ. Avexys, our #1 player statistically right now, continues to put on that show.
Demise is having a good fight, but he got taken out by Rushiez. He had to deal with the drop shot player. Had some damage on Rushiez, but he knew it was a fight in which he couldn't run away from. Took it as best as he could. DeToX pushing in against Powerz. He's gonna have some help with him as well, with Rushiez next to him. Rushiez is gonna get pressed by Powerz. Powerz says, oh, I got a 1v1. I'll take these all day, every day, as he'll be able to win his battle. He'll get some help from his teammate as well. DeToX has one drop to work with. Oh, he's looking for the mark. He's taking some shots in his back. He puts it up, and he's gonna burn it. Didn't get good usage out of it, but at least eUnited won't get it if you're a Rise Nation fan. Or if you picked them to win this match like me and a lot of other people did, you know.
Doesn't matter what control is. Rise seemingly always having that power whip in their hands. Just ineffective use. Has been the tail, but effective use of the shotgun out of TJ. He gets two, putting that lead back on over towards eUnited here as they're going to try to extend it even further. Powerz gets one. That's going to cement himself that cross position in the juice, but they don't want that position in the juice. They want to go ahead and cement themselves for that next position when the hill rotates, but Rushiez is going to have something to say about that. He gets one. Teammates trading. Rushiez has a chance to be a hero, but he's going to back off, try to play the big picture game.
Now, we'll see how the big picture game plays out for him. It's eUnited with a drop shot in the hand, one of the first in which we've seen them get in a while. They're looking to move down low towards Arcade. INZEM's caught out. But the question is, if INZEM dies, he wants to die and force his opponent to have to use a drop. It's going to be an easy kill. And now TJ will get this drop. He's going to have to use it on Rushiez in his corner. Rushiez knows it. Trying to time it well, but he's like, you know, I just gotta take it. I can't dodge. I can't dodge an active drop. At that point,
go ahead.
Keep going.
No, in fact, that's got to look at a little success from Rise, because it got broken or used so early with 60 seconds left. They get that close spawn, and now they have a 4-man push opportunity. Even a flank from Avexys with no drop shot in play. This is Rise's chance. One down coming through. Chain revive back up, and the duo of TJ and Demise will get wiped off that hill. An opportunity from Rise to at least close the gap. Even take the lead if they want to bleed it dry, but I think they're going to choose to close the gap and try to make a rotation before this one blinds down.
They're going to try to. It's a battle in the spawn. INZEM helped on the cleanup. Oh, he tried to get in that one-shot range. He got a good spread to help his teammate out. DeToX forced in a 1v1. I love that cut to the left, but he didn't hit the shot. He had it lined up. He took a melee. Great play from TJ. And even another kill coming out from TJ. That's a huge double from him to keep this hill for eUnited. There's 20 points of scrap time remaining, but eUnited has the rotation for next. And TJ has squared himself up with a 1v1 across map. He actually got 2 players distracted.
Find that elimination with a little help from Avexys. They're going to try to bleed him down, Blaze. That way they can try to make that rotation with a man advantage or try to utilize it as much as possible. Two players rise. They know the next point is that spawn point. Trying to push Demise deep in towards the spawn, but Powerz gets it down and elimination onto Avexys, so it's only going to be a trade. No advantage going over to Rise just yet. EJ coming in and trying to disrupt it, leaving it into a 3v3 for now. Down's going to come through for Rush. He's unable to get cleaned up. Both teams getting a down played on him, but nobody getting the elimination. Avexys gets the drop shot, but losing 2 members in the progress. Rushiez looks like he's going to be chased down, so a chance to be the hero. Avexys gets 1, gets 2 along with Rushiez. He sacrificed himself, so Rushiez will be the last player towards that hill with 45 seconds left to grab. It's about time Rushiez needs to buy his team.
Now he has Demise marked, and he's going to finally get some more reinforcements. DeToX is slow to show his numbers. INZEM's going to show his right away. Avexys on the opposite end of the map. I feel like they need to start just moving in here to just show their presence, and they will. Oh no, Avexys 1v1 versus Dyslexic. I see Dyslexic trying to get that right hand shot, but he gets the back A off the left. A full spread connects. INZEM, he gets a kill with 2 shots. Powerz with a back A headshot. Looking for another. It's a 2v2, a 2v3. Now turned into a 1v2 with Rise being down. It's eUnited who will win the battle. It's 8 seconds of scrap time left for that hill, but with eUnited being in single digits to victory, they'll take anything in which they can get.
7 seconds is all that's needed for eUnited. Rise. They lose INZEM right out of the gate. Dyslexic's in the hill. 2 more players gonna drop. Make it 3 as Rushiez gets taken out. DeToX not even close. eUnited will strike first, winning map number 1, 300 over Rise in this series.
Man, and talk about how eUnited won it. TJ MVP, 20,000 damage to his name, 21 kills, 14 deaths, and 13 assists. He also had his teammate in Powerz right behind him. Actually had a little bit more damage, but he was getting it done there on the slaying front as TJ was making a lot of the objectives happen. A team effort nonetheless for eUnited taking map number 1. Now, as we look at this map number 1, you know, Rise, they had a better early game start than eUnited, I felt like. But, you know, after those first 2 hills, you know, eUnited, they were chipping away at them. They were winning some big fights. They were playing for their objectives. They was able to rotate early. Really, the hill that changed it all was hill 3 at ATM. When Rushiez had that flank and you had multiple members down on the sides of eUnited, but I was like, somehow they won that fight. When Rise was set up first, after eUnited won that fight, they went down low to neutral. They pretty much got majority of that time. They kept Pergola scrappy, dominated towards Hotel, and just kept, you know, staying ahead of the game.
You see my stat sheet? You used to have your own stat sheet because you read that one right out of the book.
That's just my off the top of the head, dog.
Like, hill number 3, they dominated 51-5, 40-28. And like you said, it was scrappy on that next hill, 40-20, but then from there on out, it was just kind of all eUnited, slowly but surely, picking up at that scoreline against this Rise squad. And I think one of the biggest things you got to take note of isn't necessarily what eUnited was doing good, but I think the major thing was the ineffective use of that drop shot. They had 4, possibly 5 pickups on that drop shot, and they had maybe less than 3 total kills. And if it was more than that, it's because those kills were not impactful at all.
Yeah, if they get a few more impactful kills with that drop shot, that pressure, more pressure is definitely on eUnited's shoulder in the early game. On eUnited's shoulders in the early game, because that's when I feel like Rise was getting the majority of those drops. They were playing some good control. They just lost some key fights. You know, some key fights at the end of the day that got them behind. But even in this moment, it's 244 to 81. You know, this was, you know, still winnable for Rise up in this moment, but you got to play perfect. You got to get to that. They were able to get in. They were able to get to that hill in time early on ATM. After Avexys lost his 1v1, it just kind of broke out into chaos right there. Yeah, but eUnited.
On the next hill rotation, losing INZEM that early on just puts the remaining 3 members in a desperation mode. They have to go. They have to contest the hill. It doesn't matter how they do it. They just have to try.
They just got to try. eUnited takes map number 1, 300 to 246. Now we got to head on over towards the round-based game modes. This is execution and this escalation. But execution on Canals, ooh, this is gonna be a good one between both these teams. We know we got some sharpshooters on each side. I think when it comes down to the sniper, there's gonna be a battle between Powerz and Avexys, which is gonna be really fun to watch. But when it comes, but Rise, they have to get this game mode. They got to take this execution and stay in the series. We talked about them getting one of the first 2 maps. We favored them in map number 3 because of their record, not losing a Vasgar control so far. A Vasgar escalation so far in our league. They're looking good there, but for the Rise fans, they have to take this execution, but we'll see if they can the way the eUnited is playing.
Yeah, they got to give Avexys that snipe and give him opportunities. That means, not dying out of the gate, not getting picked off by the sniper on the side of eUnited, which is what you kind of guess is going to be in the hands of Powerz. Continue what you do best on this map, and that's let Avexys shine. If your back's up against the wall and you probably have to try to make a play, yeah, you can lean into Rushiez, DeToX, and INZEM. But the thing is just giving Avexys time to kind of run loose, run wild with the sniper. It sounds a lot easier, and I'm making it sound a lot easier, especially since right out of the gate, you're going to have 2 players kind of contesting towards that middle bridge. It's going to be hard to stay alive, but that's the key, is just staying alive and allow Avexys to go to work. But the thing is, Blaze, if he is not putting off or putting work for that sniper, I want to see him not be scared to kind of put it out and see some 4 pushes out from Rise.
All right, here we go. Rise versus eUnited, map number 2. We're heading on over towards the legendary Canals. Not as legendary as Gears 1 Canals, but legendary indeed. Still plays out similar, the same way. Still see a lot of epic clutch snipe plays. And mid-bridge is still just as important as it ever was. Don't ever try to pick up those nades for free. You might lose your head. We got 2 sharpshooters that's going to be bringing the action for you guys. eUnited Powerz and Rise Avexys. Be on the lookout for them. They'll be controlling the skies. Time to head in to the map.
Around, let's see. Want to confirm Avexys versus Powerz, just like we said. But initially, it's DeToX who gets first blood. So what a way to buy time than to give your team that early advantage. You see Avexys trying to rotate over, knowing that he has that cushion, going towards the top half of the map, trying to keep this player trapped in towards that corridor. And that's going to be Dyslexic. Smoke from downtown, just trying to buy Demise some sort of escape route. Rushiez in a 1v1. Quick work, and Avexys versus Powerz already up 1-0 in the sniper battle as Rise in 38 seconds win round number 1.
Man, Rise, they get that one done. I give DeToX props for his humility too as well, because it's one of those situations where DeToX, if you want to talk about best snipers in a game, you could put him up against anybody, but he understands his role on his team as a front spawn slayer, and he knows that he has to play up there towards that bridge because that's where he earned a paycheck at, and he also knows that Avexys can get the job done behind him. So DeToX here at the front, showing all that confidence to go in. He says, Avexys, you got my back, right? I see.
Headshot. No matter what, back rounds, Avexys affecting that main fight. Put the pressure on to Powerz to try to match him. Loses Dyslexic in the corridor yet again. Dyslexic refusing to back out 2 consecutive rounds. Putting the pressure onto Powerz. Demise has a battle of his own towards the low side, but he's going to connect with one onto INZEM. A great connection with a headshot could even this battle up as Powerz under siege. 2v1 opportunity as DeToX and the rest of Rise take quick advantage of that. Now the pressure is going to continue to set in. Demise takes out DeToX 1v2. Sniper still in the hands of Avexys. Rushiez is going to back up as well. Avexys connects on to Demise from downtown to go 2 rounds in a row for Rise.
Man, he was playing for the ace there for a second. Demise, he got 2, but that's only 2. That's only half the job, and he had to get it done himself. Let's Rise up 2-0. How does we'll see how eUnited can kind of, slow it down going into this round. I don't think they need to slow it down. They just need a little bit better luck in their favor. And it comes down to the fight on the mid-bridge. We saw DeToX get first blood. We saw Avexys have his back on the snipe. Their focus is on TJ. And they get, DeToX gets headshotted and TJ gets headshotted.
Avexys with the body shot again onto Demise. But it's INZEM who gets headshotted. These guys are not missing with the sniper, but it's the headshots that matter most, or the body shots with the shotgun as Avexys takes out one. Dyslexic finally learning that he doesn't have to go forward in every battle. Teamwork making the dream work. Him and Demise, 1-2 punch combo to win that round for eUnited.
Yeah, Rushiez has to be quicker on that move around a corner after Avexys goes down, because even though he's playing off his left hand, he needs to at least, put himself in a position so his teammate don't get cleaned up from afar. But that was in that little bitty fight at the end. Ultimately, it was eUnited who was able to get the damage out faster and connect with those headshots. Great effort so far. Both our snipers are playing great. Powerz and Avexys connecting on the heads today. Now DeToX super aggressive. Instead of going down low, he's going up top. Didn't get the back A on Dyslexic that he wanted to, but Rushiez able to get the kill on TJ at the bottom of the mid-bridge. And there's the miss roll. Avexys knew he lost his life before he actually lost it. Powerz repays him for the favor. It's a 3v3.
You wonder where that sniper was kind of downed out at. There could be a chance Rise goes for it with pressure right now. eUnited are trying to put it on to DeToX, missing the body shot, which is crucial, but it doesn't matter. Dyslexic gets the down. They're trading off the down. Hey,
oh, that was clean.
From a mile away. They take out INZEM, but Rushiez and DeToX have a player on each side. DeToX makes quick work of Demise. Dyslexic feels the pressure. He has a couple of shots, some damage onto one, but he's unable to finish it off. Great work from DeToX and Rushiez, knowing the situation that they're in. Two different 1v1s, turning and burning onto one, and then making quick work of the numbers on the other side.
Like clean headshot from Powerz. This move is clean from Powerz too, right? Because this is all call out. This is all call out right there. Boom for the chunk. But this is where then DeToX squared up for a 1v1 right before I think Rushiez pushed in, or it was Rushiez who got the 1v1 on mid-bridge on the other guy. But that was a great play from Rise to get out of a difficult situation. Now DeToX gets the flash out early. He got stunned first, but he moves forward. You see how he takes the closest cover? He has to push into his opponents to not take no damage. First blood goes by way of Dyslexic. It's quickly rebutted by a headshot from Avexys. Powerz on mid-bridge, two players looking at him, and Avexys gets another kill, getting pressed on a high side. He shoots Powerz in the back, and Avexys gets it done this round.
Did everything that round with the player down on mid-bridge. He connected with the headshot top water stairs. He got pushed. He connected with the body shot with the shotgun to go ahead and save his own life. Avexys is doing everything, and this is what we've already seen from Avexys the last time I was able to watch him kind of perform on Canals.
Time to choose.
Somebody needs to stop him, slow him down. I don't know.
Somebody, anybody.
Ooh.
I ain't in there. It's gonna have to be Powerz. Powerz been doing a good job against him so far. Woo! You see how Avexys used that pillar on the opposite end? That pillar is your best friend. You peek from the left and the right of that. Connects on a body shot. Both snipers get impressed, and both snipers being taken out. But it's a man advantage left for Rise.
See, Avexys goes down. Hides and pockets that sniper, not wanting to give that one on over towards eUnited. So not only is there man advantage on the side of Rise, Rushiez has that torque bow, tries to go for the quick connection. What? Looking a little scary there. Flash damage possibility. TJ gets a shot over the top. INZEM's down. We've seen this situation before. He gets one. Can he do it again? The Lancer fire from INZEM. Shades of Fallout, Gears of War 1. Rise clutch up big.
Dyslexic almost did that.
Oh my God.
Dyslexic almost made that happen. Look at the stream. Right? This is Rushiez getting the first kill. Dyslexic down. Wiggle waggle. Pop down. Wiggle waggle. Missed it. Right there.
Melee. If he melees, he still wins that. Oh my God, that was close. 5-1. Rise up over eUnited. Not wanting to go down without a fight. They kind of agreed. They said if they would have just utilized that drop shot, this could be a different song and dance.
Avexys pre-fires for the body shot, but it's gonna be Demise who gets first blood with the help of TJ. They tried to go for the other body shot, but Avexys knows he has to stay alive because his team is winning the battle. But Powerz and Dyslexic put the pressure on him. They couldn't get the kill. Powerz leads that shot. Double snipers in the hand of Dyslexic and Powerz. INZEM can't make it to the connector. Come on, you gotta protect your life. They almost snipe each other.
Like,
they're looking for kills.
Like, gets me, he gets popped. Yo, I told you to get to me, not knowing he was just two snipers just barreling down the side. Double body shot even gets the down, but Dyslexic knows around the cover. Bunny gets spotted out. Body shot with the sniper. Powerz continuing to back up. Keeps the distance to perfection. eUnited win their second round. But in order to win this map and get a 2-0 lead in the series, they have to be perfect.
They have to. They have to. This was where he's like, all right, what's going on, Dyslexic? You want to fight? He wins that fight against Dyslexic and Powerz doesn't save him, but then Powerz comes on over and he takes down INZEM. hits the body shot and takes down Rushiez. That's a nice 3-piece for him in a round. We head into round number 8 to see if eUnited can remain perfect. TJ has had a difficult battle up against DeToX and Rushiez down here. Powerz with a quick headshot on the Avexys to kick this round off. It was Rise trying to make a play down low to find a kill to keep an advantage in their favor, but this is where the Wolfpack strategy is going to come out. It's a 3v3 situation. The snipe got picked up on the opposite end of the map. These players cannot stay on the mid-bridge for too long. Even though Rise has a bow in Rushiez's hands, this is winnable for him.
He double snipes yet again. Dyslexic was able to come across the high side, take out Avexys. Rise sent 3 players down low off of that initial, which granted them the torque bow, but come at it across. Sacrifice, INZEM down low. Body shot yet again. This one really going the distance. Rushiez is the one that's going to connect with TJ, but both the snipers still in play.
Oh, Powerz is trying to save Dyslexic. He's calling out the bait, but Powerz gave up the high ground. They're going to work the low side. INZEM is the focus. 1v2. The bow is going to connect. And Rise now left in a 3v1, but Powerz makes it a 1v2 to keep him alive. One shot left in the chamber. Nades on mid-bridge. A player in front with a bow. Oh, he went for it, though. He knew what he had to do. He tried it, but it wasn't enough. It was Rise showing once again, when it comes down to execution, they are the best in the league. As Rushiez with 7k damage, he'll be the MVP, but we know it was a team effort. A lot of great snipes coming out from Avexys as well. He's gonna have 5k damage to his name, 8k for INZEM, 7k for DeToX. That's a Rise victory. We're all tied up 1-1, and we come back. We're heading on over to Vasgar Escalation to see who can get the lead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears Pro League. We're all tied up 1-1 going on Vasgar. And as Craig said in chat, you know, Vasgar is not merciful for teams that go into that map down 0-2. So it's good for the Rise fans to try to stay alive in this series. They are staying alive in this series. They're floating. Both squads are floating. But Vasgar will tell the tale of this tape on who can get a commanding lead going into that control on Regency. And that's going to be super important. Jacob, as we watch this map, we kind of saw a dominant performance by Rise, okay? And I feel like we saw a dominant performance. Well, we saw a great performance from eUnited in that map 1, but I wouldn't call it dominant.
No, it definitely wasn't dominant. This could have easily been a 2-0 lead from Rise because, like I said, they had the majority, if not all but maybe 2 drop shots in that map, number 1. But a couple of those got burned out, unable to be used. A couple of them got 1 elimination, which means absolutely nothing in the big picture. So, honestly, you can look at the series and say, hey, it's a nice 1-1 series, or you can kind of think if, ands, or buts, Rise could be up 2-0. But at the end of the day, Vasgar, this is a chance for eUnited to take control of this series yet again. We know how well they played on that map number 1, with or without that drop shot. They just need to figure out a way to replicate it on a game type that's similar but not exact.
What does Colin say? Like if ifs and nuts are candies and butts, we'll have a merry time, but that it's crazy and nuts or something like that. Something like that.
I don't know Colin's version, but I think it's like if it's and nuts, or if it's and butts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, I was gonna go really wild with that one, and I thank you for keeping me alive on that one, Jacob. Okay, I just wanted to give Colin some love as he's locked into this series just like we are. It's map number 3, Vasgar. Who's gonna be able to come out on top? Rise hasn't lost this map in a pro league thus far. eUnited is 1-1, and they know that they got a tough opponent, but they're focused on a win, and we'll see what their game plan is. As Powerz has a flash in hand, holding this corner, gonna get aggressive on Rushiez, try to catch him on the escape. He gets a good shot in, but Avexys will be able to save the day and get to the fight in the nick of time.
It makes me wonder what the call was, because a free hill for TJ, knowing he's not contested. There's somebody floating around. They just went in. They tried to take it by the horns. that end up getting taken out. eUnited fresh off of the respawn. They have to wait for one more, so more time going in favor of Rise, which isn't much early on, but we've seen some close games already. Powerz is going to go ahead and take that left side with a flash, trying to attack DeToX, get him out of that position to make the break that much easier. But a couple players go down on eUnited. This one turning in a blink of an eye. Just as quick as they retook the hill, they lose it once more.
So we got a 1v1 in A. We got player 4 who's gonna cap the hill for free, but it's gonna be a 3v2 on C. Rise knows that, okay? They're giving up C. They know they can't win a game. Oh, it was close. It was close. It really was. One player probably could have won the game, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's a 2-to-1 hill advantage for Rise, and they're okay with this.
I wonder if he let him touch the hill a second to get his teammates getting neither here nor there. Powerz, it's down by INZEM. Rushiez looked like he was about to get pressed.
I thought he was gonna die.
Yeah, exactly, but saving the day. And honestly, with Avexys saving the day, INZEM on that map number 2, it goes to show that their teamwork is on point. Fortunately enough, there's only so much they can do. Demise takes out 2, gets the run ended by INZEM. So this battle for the neutral with TJ is so important. Him going down all but sealed the deal in this round.
Yeah, pretty much kind of did, because that Powerz either has to take a 1v1 or he has to wait for help. Help is here, and help is here for Rushiez. But the third player is actually going to go to C, so this is going to stay a stalemate for a while. Rushiez goes down right before he was able to wrap around and get towards tank. This is going to be 20 seconds on the clock. INZEM trapped in the corner, tried to move up to get the kill. Avexys may go down as well in this situation. He has to do his best to stay alive. That's a trade-off on there. Player 4, does he go to B? They're trying to. Oh, they got it! eUnited! Hold on, will they? No. It's another team fight. It's another team fight happening in this round.
So he knows he's there. This one's going to continue. 4 seconds is all they need. They put 2 fresh players off of respawn, trying to contest that neutral. 2 more players coming off of respawn. So Rise have the neutral hill set off their new home, but DeToX goes down. INZEM falls as well. They're still gaining points. Avexys caught in a trap, but Rushiez making the rat play across the map. He's going to prolong this round, but for how long can he keep it going?
He got the decap,
but he goes down yet again. eUnited, the home hills reach. It's up to DeToX. It's up to INZEM to get this break and the cap almost instantly, or they will lose the round. And they get triple capped on by eUnited, who pull the rug out from underneath their feet.
What a crazy round that was. Oh my. Back and forth. The decaps are there. It's looking good for Rise. They just need one heal. They tried to rotate to C, got matched up in a 1v1. They tried to take the 2v2 at B, couldn't do it. They tried to quickly rotate back to A off the respawn, and they couldn't make it happen. I said this earlier about Team Queso in a situation similar, that he stayed to cap the hill instead of going forward. That was kills over hills, and it won eUnited the round. Perfect. I'm like a proud dad. While Jacob will boast in the proudness of eUnited making the perfect plays there, it's Powerz who will drop back off his home hill. He has the DeToX, but he may lose 2 of his teammates mid-map. They're taking a lot of damage. Also, Powerz putting out a lot of damage. They will survive for now, as Rise is looking to have a quick rebuttal from that last round, keeping a few players alive. A little bit of taunting happening at B. A little 1v1 being fought there between TJ and Avexys.
Now, you got to think TJ has to figure out a way to cross that center of the map while the 3 of his teammates push. Avexys has to neutralize that cross, rotate over quicker than he can ever rotate in his life to make that a 4v3 fight. Your minimap, you already see TJ crossing in your screen. You see Rushiez trying to anchor back that position, but Powerz just in the nick of time. He ends one. Great shot over the top. Back-to-back shots at that, but he's unable to get the elimination on either one of those players. Him and Demise will fall. TJ trying to keep this one going, gets the decap, and immediately knows the play is not to get the capture. Unfortunately enough, everybody's setting their eyes onto TJ to get that down, to keep a man advantage in favor of Rise as long as possible.
Whoa! That's a great shot from Dyslexic. He's gonna stay alive. DeToX may try to flank. Oh yeah, they're not gonna let him get away. I feel like Dyslexic goes down there. Rise is in a great position, but That's one of those fights where I will say you overstay your welcome or you did a little bit too much, but I think it was the play. He just needed a little bit more help with him to kind of clean up that kill, because if they get that, they keep it a 2v2 and they allow their teammates to move up just a bit more. Instead, it's Rise with a 40-point lead. They got to come off their respawn. They got to fight for this home hill at C back. They're okay with everything playing out neutral because they do have the lead in this situation. It's not Rise who has to make the move. It's eUnited who has to do it. So unless player 6 wants to fight the 1v1 down low, they got to push into this hill first. Great headshot with the bow tie. DeToX gets a kill, and eUnited just realized that they didn't have control over this situation the way that they thought that they did.
I like the way you kind of broke that down, just knowing in a lot of those situations, the team that's in the position of Rise feel like they have to make that push, but they knew exactly they didn't have to move. They didn't just park the bus, waited for eUnited to make a mistake, and presented themselves all sorts of mistakes because nobody even makes a play for the hill.
Yo, like I was looking, I was like, it's two players there, and it's a hill in front. Like there's multiple covers where you can sit at it and not take no damage. Neither one of them goes for the decap.
One of those situations that I almost wonder what's going down in the comms. Are you gonna do it? I got it. Both of them probably called I got it, and neither one of them actually hopped over.
Would you equate those 2 rounds as being equal on how they were won then? Since
very similar. Yes.
Very similar, right? I think the one at eUnited one could have been more demoralizing because Rise only needed 4 points. But you know, I feel like Rise got something of equal value in that round number 2 a little bit. So they shouldn't feel too down when it comes down to the morale. Even Stevens, it's a 4-man push. Once again, Rise brings Avexys over with the bow tie. He hits some good shots. You see how he's keeping Dyslexic's head down. He's gonna keep finding players with their lancers out in the back trying to do some damage, and he's gonna keep putting DeToX shots on those guys until his team has the damage that they need to win this fight. They should be close to it. That's a quick revive in the 3v1. Avexys gets the kill on Demise, and it's going to be up to Powerz to stay alive. That's a great wrap shot. But let's talk about it. It's TJ winning 1v1s left and right. He got a free cap at B. He was able to rotate around and get A. But he can win he can win a Force team now. If he gets some shots in their back, it could be a trip cap. Not anymore with player 4, I guess, coming off the respawn. They'll go to B and they'll go to A. So TJ will be able to help him win this fight, but it is going to shift over to Rise having 2 hills to their name soon.
Fresh off the respawn, Powerz, Dyslexic. Powerz kind of pushed in right off of the respawn. They have a 2v1. They're going to see this as it goes. 2 most aggressive players on the team. Put Rushiez full red, almost immediately followed up with a down and elimination. 2 hills back on board of eUnited, who already has the lead in this round as DeToX sets his eyes forward. They get that elimination onto TJ, but they lose Rushiez in the progress. 3v3 possibility on this side of the map, but for now it's 3v2. A flank opportunity coming through. INZEM knows it's coming. He's going to stop Dyslexic dead in his tracks. Demise trying to hold on as much of this position as possible, using that smoke on his own, even though it was thrown for Avexys to try to gain some footing. But they have more to go. They have to flash him out. They have to get it down onto DeToX, doing a good job holding his ground. Defense almost impeccable by Rise. As they get 2 more eliminations in the book, make it 3 if they can get down
Demise
Powerz,
is holding
Demise
his ground.
stays alive as well.
Yeah, Demise did a fantastic job staying alive there. Demise goes down, that fight is completely different, and it falls in favor of Rise. Now, Rushiez will get a capture on B. Well, he doesn't even get the capture, he just kind of notifies people that he's there. That's 2 great shots from him. Try to not get into that 1-shot range, but if he wrap shots that, he may get the kill. It's a 100-point lead for eUnited. Rise has 1 team fight left. And INZEM starts him off really good. INZEM gets 2 good shots. That's gonna decap B and that's gonna buy Rise 8 more seconds on the clock.
Try to defend this.
They're collapsing on B. They have to respect these players coming out the spawn. This is the most important kill for Rise. It's the one on Dyslexic. And Dyslexic gets a hit and run. He stays alive. That's it. That's the round.
Good job by eUnited. Playing rotations there a little bit at the end. You can kind of see it. Demise spawning up just in time to check INZEM, who was going on a flank for that last and final hill. Dyslexic playing out of his mind. You see Boltox and Talons. Usually you see kind of retro being upgraded, but they want the headshot potential of the Boltox. But they also want to be able to kind of use that retro upgraded into a shotgun as well.
Okay.
The high ground.
Yeah, you want that, right? You definitely want to use that if you can get a chance to. Neither squad is going to put their nade down just yet. Don't want to show their hand. There's a lot of damage coming out here with these Boltox and Retro Lancers. We're only on round number 4. It's Rise playing from their bad side, technically. eUnited. They're clearing out the Sea Hill. They recognize they're going to get it for free. I don't know what Rise thought. But Rise loses Rushiez here in the middle. It was like they cat B and they were going to go back to fight it, but then they gave it up.
Almost like DeToX was like, yo, I got a plan, let's do this. And Avexys said, no, let's do this, and they just didn't exactly know what
yeah, that's
do.
what it was.
Honestly,
it was just that's a miscommunication.
Some time and a defense on their own home hill. Now they have to figure out a way to make a push here. 3v2 opportunity though. Dyslexic is immediately going to turn and try to get into a better position along with Powerz while they take an advantage on the other side of the map. eUnited playing like a well-oiled machine.
That's a great rotation from them. They knew that since they have this lead, as soon as they see 3, they're going to take the 2v1 for the other hill elsewhere on the map. And INZEM's trying to do his best to stay alive. He gets some good, well, some decent shot on Demise, but Demise gets even better shots on DeToX. He was almost able to save his teammate, but DeToX quickly goes and trying to help his teammate make it a 3v1 up there so they can move in, and DeToX takes down TJ as well. So he'll be able to make a beeline to the B hill and regroup with INZEM for the win. But can they do it in time? They should be able to, no problem. But he misses the shot. INZEM. Demise for the hill. Demise gets taken out. But across map, Rushiez is going huge. He's only able to get 1. He'll lose Avexys in that battle.
Only will eUnited survive that triple cap domination style play, but they're gonna have the lead for now. About 20 seconds, probably even a little bit less than that before Rise does take the lead over. They're gonna have to use this push, and already in your mini map you see 2 players trying to take a 2v1 advantage. That means Rise has to go. Even though they already have the hill, they need all this positioning and to decap the other side of the map. Otherwise, eUnited will remain in control, especially with INZEM going down across the map. It's gonna be up to Rise here to find the necessary eliminations. Great flash from DeToX, great elimination from Avexys towards the top half of the map. So once again, they'll get 2, but no, Dyslexic continued that rotation to decap the home hill of Rise. Oh, wow.
That was a big play. He faked him. He juked him. That allowed him to get 1 free shot in. He was able to get through with a second one and win the fight. But that was a big heads-up play from Dyslexic to be aggressive and go on the flank. INZEM in his 1v2 position has been playing a little bit too close there. He died early in that last fight. Now it's Rise with 2 hills. No. Nope.
1 second. 1 decap decides this game. eUnited, they try to press in towards the neutral. They don't get in.
Yeah, this is scary. Oh, yeah, that's it right there. Yeah, he needed to wait for his teammates to get there in time, but they don't get enough time to make it. It's eUnited who's up 3-1 at the half, looking to give Rise their first loss on Vasgar.
Second differential, Blaze, from that win condition going back on over to Rise.
A second from being an offensive team to the defensive team.
Was this the round they had the blunder in the beginning, or did we already skip past that one? Those are seconds right there that I can find you.
Yeah, that was this round.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Those mistakes. That's why I pay such close attention to literally the split-second difference. It's not always about when you world star a 3-piece for the win. Sometimes capping a hill off of spawn is enough, Blaze. Who would have thought?
It really is. Just that 1 hill alone can buy you the seconds that you need in a late game to win. Simple as that. Now it's eUnited up 3-1 going into the half. Rise, we'll see what type of adjustments they want to make. Now is the time for them. It's a 3-1 for Rise, trying to play for the home hills down low, and it's a 2-2 for eUnited. Rise, they'll be able to get this flank here from the middle. It's going to be Avexys looking to shake some things up. He's taking a few DeToX shots from TJ. That's going to slow him down. But he also has some shots to give. As Rise is pressing up, they'll connect with the stuns in their 2v2 fight. INZEM misses some shots. A quick revive sets DeToX up for the meat shield. Gonna connect with these pistol shots. Going for that kill blow. Can't get the decap. Well, it's there now. 1v1 versus TJ. Who wants it the most? Ooh, TJ with a beautiful shot off his right shoulder. He'll be able to lock down his home hill for his team. As eUnited, they got Rise in the pinch with player 8 at the top of the stairs in the spine. That's Dyslexic. He's waiting to make a move. He's secret man and he's camping it out. Powerz wins a big battle. He finds 2. Dyslexic is going to lose his fight, so Rise will stay alive with the E-Hill.
Said staying alive, going to be the one to decap that E-Hill, buy some time, but already been doubled up on the score line. You're getting pushed back deep into the spawn, forced to try to make a play here. They have to wait for one more player to spawn up into DeToX before they can go ahead and try to make a push. But Rushiez in a 1v1. He's going to try to extend. Powerz with a flank. He can shut this one down. They just need to buy him time. That's TJ and Demise, who are now under siege. The cross is in. INZEM drops initially. Revive back up to Avexys, and the eliminations are in. DeToX is out. Rushiez, INZEM, everybody from Rise snapped off the face of the planet. eUnited will win their 4th round and be 1 round away from closing out map number 2 and taking a 2-1 lead over Rise in this battle for first place.
Rise has not been able to get off to a good initial and be able to get that lead and get set up. eUnited's rotations have just been better than Rise's on this map. You know, their objective play, TJ has been, you know, he's been playing solo on the island and in some of his spots, but when he does that, he's making the right plays. He's knowing when to apply the pressure, knowing when to decap the hills, knowing when to stay alive. And so the only player for Rise that I could think about right now who can really turn this game around if he has a standout performance is going to be Rushiez. Rushiez takes over, Rise got a chance to come back and tie this up 4-4. We've seen him do it a lot in the past. You know, if you think about all the teams that we've seen, you know, make comebacks, you know, Rise may be top of that list. But we'll see if they can get it done today. It's eUnited in control right now.
Rushiez does kind of go off. It is in those 1v1 scenarios similar like you see now up against TJ. Powerz almost going down as Rushiez has TJ dead to Rise right here. 1v1 scenario, and there's the start you wanted to see. DeToX gets down onto Dyslexic across the map. Nobody from the eUnited able to get that revive, so that's surely going to give up that neutral hill. An early point advantage, possible triple cap domination. You see Rushiez threatening it on the other side of the map. Neutral hill is going to be captured. Rushiez backing off because he knows he doesn't have the time on his side, especially with a 2v1. He ends one into TJ, but it's going to become a trade. They're going to get that hill back and get a momentum opportunity to shift that to their favor.
Ooh, double down on the side of eUnited. They'll lose this fight at E, but so far their home hill will be okay. Rise knows there's not too many moves they can make on that side of the map. That's going to be a decap there coming out for Dyslexic to save whatever seconds he can his opponent gathering on him. But Rise is going to set up in a 2-2 situation. They just need their players at the home hill to press up on the F hill as soon as they possibly can, so that thins out eUnited's numbers. But speaking about thinning out numbers, it's TJ and Powerz thinning out the roster of Rise. So great fight there. You see a little bit of a rebuttal coming out here from Rise as they cleaned up those 2 kills in the spawn, and they will be able to back up and get F. So 2 separate 2v2 fights being won, but Rise won the most important one to lock in a home hill setup between D and F. They're okay with playing with their backs up against the wall.
Powerz being a few seconds short of that fight is the difference between a 3v3. Basically trying to survive, waiting for reinforcements. He gets the break, gets the capture. 2 players getting dropped yet again, so it's only going to be a short-lived capture as he tries to run towards that neutral hill and stay alive. You already see the pressure being put on by Rise in your mini-map. They're going to drop down Powerz.
Player 1 needs to get over.
It's going to go over. It's going to be up to them. They're going to try to back off of this hill. They know they're going to win off points regardless. The only way Rise loses is a systematic meltdown.
Ooh, that's a good one. They're burning. He can't hit a shot with the DeToX, but he can hit one with the shotgun. I think his teammate had to tap up in the corner. They get the revive, and Rise will get on the hill. That's one for him. They need 2 more to tie.
I like what you say, that 2 more to tie instead of 3 to win. Because you know as well as I do, in the heat of the moment like this, you just need to take it one step at
one round at a time, right?
Like, you can't think too far ahead, because before you know it, you're thinking far ahead. You lose the round, and then you're thinking for nothing.
Yeah, I don't even think about the last round needing to be one. I just think about how many rounds till I tie. You know, how many rounds till I tie? And then if you can mix in going from your good side to your bad side, you know, you get a little extra confidence. You know, so we got a sniper down on the map. Oh, we got double power weapons on the map. Torque up top, snipe down low. It's no good side or bad side anymore. It's who can play better Escalation. Who are better Gears of War players in this moment to close out this game? It's a 2-2 split for both teams.
The shot versus INZEM on the top side of the map as well. This bottom half usually does kind of end up stalemated when it is a 2v2 scenario. So when I kind of look at it, Avexys was the one for Rise that did grab those incendiary grenades. Shot grenade is going to be in the hands of Powerz, who kind of dishes that one out.
Oh!
Instant kill potential will always reign supreme. Double kill from Avexys, awarded the torque bow, but it makes me wonder, why wouldn't you kind of give up the torque bow? You keep the retro lancer. So 1 weapon's at least wasted.
Nah, they're going to pick it up. They drop back and they get it. Oh, well, if Rushiez wants it, he'll get it. But it's more important about getting back to defend the F hill and the push. That was a long range bow coming out from him. Oh, that's a great splash damage. He hits with the shotty, but he has no one on the right side to protect him. His teammates will move up. They know that they got the kill. They know that they got the advantages. TJ finds a kill, but that's the round for Rise. 1 round away from the tie.
Said just takes 2 rounds, 1 foot in front of the other, 2 steps, and you're a tie. They've already taken 1. You see it, that double kill with the INZEMs in the hands of Avexys. The difference between that shot grenade, because it didn't stop anybody from running through anywhere. You see shot grenade being upgraded on one side. You almost got to think it has to be matched, maybe a 60-second retro. But if you do 60-second retro, you're basically giving up your block. So yeah, I do agree with the INZEM upgrade.
All right, so go for the INZEM upgrade instead. Rise. At this point, it's a round by round basis. There's 1 for the tie, 1 for the win. eUnited, 1 for the lead. 2-2, 3-1 for Rise. They'll go down low. They'll get the snipe. They're gonna give up the bow. Player 4, Secret Man, comes out late. He scares off that player up top, being Powerz. They'll get the down on Rushiez. Avexys drops back, playing for the home hill. Demise, he'll take a shot. Can't play to the shot. Forced out in the open, but he got a huge kill. A quick save from Avexys. They'll dodge the incinerary. A big fight against Powerz. Powerz with the down. 1 player's on their last down. They'll take out Powerz. It's Rise with a breath of life. They back up to get the D hill. Now they're gonna get the E hill as well and get 2 to their name. That's a body shot on Demise. They get the intel for their teammate, and they'll just use Avexys to keep E hill protected for now, because he'll see anyone who crosses. He's exactly where he wants to be. And Rise, they're gonna play to protect E rather than protect D, I think, soon.
And they're basically kind of leaving TJ on that side of the map for a moment with that torque bow. Trying to at least stretch it across, catch somebody off guard, splash damage, anything he can to buy time for his team to take a 3v1. You guys, you need to go. Begging for help at this point. Torque bow is going to miss. TJ has no other option than to momentarily back up. Dyslexic is there just in the blink of an eye, though. So 2v2 if they want to take it. Plus, they have that torque bow for splash damage. But Avexys waiting over the top for the perfect opportunity to strike. He misses that first one. And because of that miss, that allows that down to go on to DeToX. Allows for eUnited to push back for some position.
INZEM tried to use the flame to save his teammate. But it's Rise who are going to wait for the respawns on power weapons. And they're going to wait for their teammate to spawn up. Powerz caused some commotion, but that's all it is noise. Just a little bit of noise. All right, Rise isn't getting too scared. But with player 8 pushing up, being dyslexic, he put his team in a bad spot. Oh, or a better spot. as he's going to play for the shot grenade. He'll force the trip cap on D for the win.
Ooh, Torquebo is going to connect onto TJ. He has that shot grenade to buy time. Anybody trying to aggress on him towards the spawn, but Rushiez is buying time for his team. He's trying to at least find the elimination, but he gets taken down. INZEM on the hill. He needs to get the decap, and the shot is stopping him for a moment. Great back A to survive and keep rising this match.
Yo, what? What? DeToX wins that fight? He gets the bow. They get two. It's the late game. Where does the win condition go? It stays for eUnited.
I thought that win condition was going to switch.
No, but look at how much time. It's a lot of time to play for one.
Nice Powerz making the play, getting that first
Avexys gets desperate. Oh my, Powerz with the headshot. Looking for DeToX across the map. They need player 4 to go huge. They need something to happen at E. There's not much time on the clock. Rushiez gets behind him, but he can't swing the corner in time. The E hill, it's a 1v2 for DeToX. It's eUnited to take the map 5-3. And they'll go up 2-1 in this series. And what a close one it's been.
Yeah, what a close, hard-fought battle between these two teams. Dyslexic getting MVP. And honestly, the way he was getting behind enemy lines, the way he was buying time for the team consistently was a great powerhouse. But Powerz and his sniper play, body shot after body shot, just making it look easy for his team in the sense of it's just a shot, half a spread, just gets the down, just makes it a lot less pressure that his team is facing.
A lot less pressure, okay? And he created a lot of openings for them. And, you know, we were talking about the last flank that he had, and he was really sneaky about it to get the kill, to get the shot grenade, to get the decap on a home, and just throw a wrench and rise his plans for the rounds. And so plays like that he made pays dividends for eUnited. So Dyslexic definitely was the one that needs to step up there. And if you think about, you know, the successes of his old team on Vasgar, he is an X factor when he's out there playing those solo positions on the island. He's very fast. He knows where he needs to get to, but he also has the movement to get out of difficult situations, as well as create them for his opponent.
Like I said, as soon as Dyslexic finds his comfortability on this roster, he makes plays exactly like that. And you can see why eUnited snatched him up first chance that they did get from that noble roster. And everybody else, they're on different teams. I think they might have run one roster mania this split. I don't want to speak too soon. They hold first place now, but Rise, 2 maps to go. They need to win map number 4 to force that game number 5 and win that one to take first place away from eUnited.
You gotta take first place away from eUnited. They got 2 more maps to try to get it done, and we'll see if they can make it happen. They've been playing great. Both these squads have been playing great throughout the day. We're heading on over towards the Regency control soon. But eUnited, they won this one in the first half for me. In this map number 3, they got that 3-1 lead, and from there they were able to just kind of take their time and play the advantages what they have with the power weapons and the blocks, and they play some better escalation. So we'll see if they can outmatch Rise on the control once again. We saw them do it map number 1. But what type of adjustments does Rise need to make in their control, Jacob, if they want to be able to try to force this game 5?
They need to continue to wolf pack around, very, very similar to eUnited. But I mean, they have that one down packed. You saw a lot of their team fights won on District. And I think what the biggest thing, especially when we do go over to Regency, is that power weapon control. We saw how much it hurt at the end of the day in map number 1. This could be 2-1 in favor of Rise, possibly 3-0, depending on what you do with a 2-0 lead, if they were able to take map number 1. But for Rise, they need to utilize the power weapons. I'm not going to say get control of them, because they had control of them. It's effectiveness of those weapons. And you can start out the gate with the drop shot, the shot grenade. You can grab the frags and you can grab the end bar and then kind of set up from there. But like I said, either defense or offense, getting the shots that matter with the end bar, getting those big multi-kills with the frag grenades. Heck, even if you don't get the multi-kills, enough damage, get them to roll outwards into your lance or into your crosses. Because like I said, Rise, one of the things that I feared was taking the series needed a 3-0 because of map number 1. They lost map number 1, and now I'm just scared for them overall.
Ooh, yeah, so hey, Rise, can they recover? Can they land on their feet? If you're a Rise fan, if you betted for them, now is the time to be scared as we head into this map number 4. We'll see if they can regain. I feel like I saw more life out of them at the end of that Vasgar, and I think that is a valid statement, but can they carry that on over towards map number 4? Can they force the game 5? Because eUnited, when they find themselves in these winning positions where it's like, bro, we're one map away to strike, to get victory, to go up another dub, they start playing better. They start playing faster. And if they get a lead going into this control, I guarantee you they're going to be petty and they will not let that go. They will suffocate Rise all the way to the victory when they realize that, hey, we can see the finish line. Let's race for it.
Yeah. And honestly, depending on how this next map does play out, I'm going to make a wild comparison, Blaze. Rise almost reminds me of a Latin American team. And the reason why I say that is because they have such good battles in Gears Esports, whether if it's a major, whether if it's a pro league. But as soon as Rise and some of these Latin American teams lose that close battle, when they lose just inches away from getting that victory, the next map, they usually come out flat. They're usually a shell of themselves, and that's how the series ends. I'm hoping this is just Pro League. I hope Rise does prove me wrong, because I would like to see that game number 5, both teams battling out for first place. But at the same time, Rise, like I said, has proven to come out flat after big losses like that.
All right, here we go. Is Jacob right? Is Rise going to fall flat after that devastating loss in map 3? Or are they going to rise to the occasion and force that game number 5 and play for first? We're about to find out. It's Regency control. Jacob, take us away.
Deep control. Rush is the player we're looking at to have a big game. Great cross coming out from Rise, baiting in that towards position. INZEM Avexys 1-2 punch towards the nades. Demise is going to fall. Dyslexic just gets down, but TJ stretches across to find one. That leaves Powerz by himself, trying to clean up these downs, but it's taking him a little bit longer than he hoped, and it actually cost him his life and the hill at the end of the day. Shot grenade going on over to Rise, but it's not over just yet. The fight for the frag grenades could be telling. Could be a moment for eUnited if they get control to come back off of this initial hill, but if they keep digging themselves further into a hole, that's going to be very fruitful for Rise.
Yeah, INZEM did a little bit too much rushing for TJ there in that moment, but he tried to be there for his teammates so they can create the opening. They still will get the frag grenades. They have the M-bar, and now they're backed up towards the hill. Rushiez don't have a well-timed shot on that one, but the second one will connect. He doesn't have any teammates around him. Everyone else rotated down low to get the remaining time on that old hill rather than pressing up and playing for the spawn, but they're not getting time anymore. So that was a miscommunication, because I thought we were going to see Rise push 2 players up the middle stairs, join up there with Rushiez and kind of use their nades, but they take a slower fight.
Like United setting up a little bit ahead on towards the spawn point. If they get victorious and they get a lot of eliminations here, they're just going to make their hold onto the hill that much easier, and that allows them to block the spawn point down low. That's going to be, I do believe, TJ doing just that. See the information being dished out. Dyslexic trying to stretch forward and threaten to pick up for the M-bar, but I think there's probably a full maybe 30, 40 seconds on that M-bar, so I'm only going to think about that one after the next set of eliminations.
After the next set. The next set's coming through now, and the set's going towards eUnited. Match blouses. Not gain point. Now, 30 seconds left remaining. It's Avexys and DeToX here coming through the spawn side with the cross. They're able to work together to get one down. 36 points in this hill. eUnited doing a great job fighting. Powerz on the flank. They'll find 3. Looking for Avexys to be the actual, official third player in that fight. And that's eUnited coming out on top, and they got enough time to rotate for the M-bar. That one Lancer is going to be able to get it for him, too. He pushed one player back, and DeToX should be able to get that for ease. He's at least in the position to backpack it if he need it. Ooh.
Listen, that's what I'm talking about. The effectiveness. Gotta make sure you're picking up eliminations. Multi-kills with the M-bar, but Avexys is the one who gets dropped out. DeToX goes down. He gets one, but that biggest thing is the drop shot. It is no longer in play. Dyslexic trying to use that shot grenade. go ahead and get some angles there as Powerz picks up those frag grenades. He's trying to rotate it around, and if they can go ahead and converge on this 3v2, they'll maintain that advantage, but the longer you let these players escape, you're allowing them to set up defensively. Powerz, no! A big blunder. He takes out 2 of his teammates, and it looks like he's going to fall shortly after.
eUnited left to TJ in the spawn to fight as long as he can so the rest of the players can make the rotation down low. They'll be able to get at least one player to the hill, but it's ultimately Rise with the setup. 60 seconds there for M-Bar. 85 for nades, 20 for shock. This is where eUnited say, you know what? Either we just got to take it slow for a second. We'll get back into this fight, come out as a tie. We go into the neutral hill in P3. They're in a good fight. It's a bad smoke, unless he was trying to get that heady. That's kind of nice, actually. You know, it's a nice little heady with a smoke. Ultimately, it's Rushiez who goes down, and it's eUnited with this main advantage. They'll find a second down and Rise. They lose a third player, and the fourth is left in the spawn. It's INZEM. He goes out. That's a wipe. And eUnited keeps their lead.
He's gonna gain it back.
And they get power weapons.
DeToX is there for a moment. Yeah. Flag grenades are going to come up rather soon as Dyslexic trying to rotate past. They know it's going to go towards this upper middle portion. The next neutral, he throws it deep towards their side, trying to negate any escape plan from being attacked out of these guys as now he's getting pushed. A lot of his foes are going to be dropped by his teammates as Dyslexic finds a way to survive. He's finding a way to thrive in this situation, Blaze, as he continues to have his eyes set forward. He's going to drop just for a moment, but not only do they get that elimination, they're going to get the possibility of a drop or an M-Bar in play, but Avexys is there just in time to contest it. It's going to mean nothing. He gets dropped off. TJ gets one onto INZEM. DeToX is doing what he can, but he cannot stop the M-Bar pickup.
Yeah, he can't stop it just yet. That's going to go on way of eUnited. Nades, player 3s waiting for him down low. They were close as well from spawning up to spawning up. TJ, a big fight. Dyslexic with the nades. It's eUnited with control. Yeah, eUnited, they're not trying to give up this lead. Rise is in such a difficult position. They're not even contesting for this hill just yet. It's 40 seconds remaining. Rise is, they're trying to take the smart plays, playing wide, playing for the power weapons, playing for positioning. They're finding themselves into some 1v1 fights, and they're losing the 1v1 fights. They're losing the numbers battles, which is, you know, letting eUnited kind of take this lead even further. But Rise will get a little hold on it for now. And Jacob, as you're tracking the points, I don't think any hill has went so in favor of eUnited, you know, where they completely took majority of it.
Yeah, there was one. It was hill number 2, 59-0.
2?
Yeah,
okay, that's what got them the lead right now.
Yeah, complete shutout. But that just goes to show, even though the score is what, like 40-point differential, there was a 59-0 shutout. And Rise is one team fight away from taking the lead right back away from eUnited. So they know on the side of eUnited, they cannot let up off the gas. I don't know how Dyslexic got back there, but he's putting that cross onto DeToX to go ahead and get that elimination, but it's not cleaned up just yet. Rushiez goes down trying to be the hero. Trades back and forth. INZEM's doing what he can, but he's going to drop as well. Trades continue. INZEM found a way to survive, but finally he will end his run as Demise finds that elimination of Avexys. Instead of staying on towards the hill, he knows he needs to get towards the back line, but Dyslexic catches up to him, holding the line. That's what eUnited does, and they have that spawn point towards the top. 10 seconds. You see Powerz trying to contest that M-Bar, and this is where Rise go ahead, have to contest the M-Bar while simultaneously pushing for the hill if they win this hill.
TJ has a cross from hell, and a flank just came from the bottom stairs from Demise. eUnited doesn't lose this fight. They get 2 kills and a free power weapon. Now, towards the mid-map, if Rise can find themselves 2 kills in a nade, that's a great counter. The nades will be up soon, and they got 2 players there in position. Player 7 gets an interesting spawn at the top. They'll be able to take down TJ. It's going to be Powerz player number 2 across map with the M-Bar. That's a great headshot on DeToX. Putting himself in position to play for next. He just barely dodges the nade, but he was forced out into the open where he will lose that power weapon. It's going to be on the ground. Dyslexic with a solid L trigger over the top. He'll find 2. Creates an opening for eUnited as they'll be able to take down INZEM as well. eUnited, they hold the hill, and they should be able to get the power weapon as well.
And this is what goes to happen, Blaze. Map number 1, you don't effectively use those weapons. Map number 4, you're unable to get the same type of control over those weapons. In fact, it's eUnited who are not only getting those weapons, but putting them to use that much better than this Rise squad. Players just finding themselves in that blender, not knowing where the answer is on the side of Rise. Powerz finally gets shut down, but he wastes that shot before doing so. And that allows for TJ to kind of play more towards an escape. Separate for 2 different 1v1s with Dyslexic takes by himself a little ill advantage. He's going to fall, so 2 players of eUnited drop, make it 3 as TJ gets shut down. This is the window of opportunity Rise needs. Collect the 30 seconds of remaining time here. Use these eliminations, though, to get the next hill as well towards the Rose Garden, where they're already set up.
So we go to the center line hill, but also after the scrap time is power weapons. So you see 3 of eUnited members playing for M-Bar, and they're playing for the scrap time. I think Rise is completely okay with giving this one up, not losing any members. They'll force eUnited to have to chase them out the hill. Rise, they jump Dyslexic, they take out TJ. That should be Nade soon and M-Bar. M-Bar now, Nade's an 18. So M-Bar is the play to get the nades as well, and then you use that to get the hill.
What happened? Seeming like eUnited is always one step ahead. 42-20. Great time for Rise, but doubled up again. 34-26. Good time, but still they're not able to close the gap on eUnited off of any one of these hills. Now we go back to start. Hill number 7, which is the beginning hill to start the game. This is where Rise needs this resurgence. They need to eclipse that 200-point mark before eUnited can gain any time here.
Well, I think we're starting to see an emergence here from them after the kills and the power weapon pickups happening mid-map. They'll be able to work together as a squad to take down the remaining players at the actual hill. So Rise playing for spawns. They got 40 points remaining. It'll be a tight game if they get all of this. Player 8 being Avexys, he's going to lock 2 players in this spawn by himself for a while. He's calling for INZEM, saying, I need you. I need you. I need some help. A long range nade. A little bit too long. Not a good nade from INZEM. Threw it preemptively, but he will be able to get this kill on Dyslexic, and he needs to use his nade to either help his squad break this setup in the back, or keep this hill and this Rise. They're going to be playing for the next objective.
Great job by Rise, holding them down to just 2 points on that last hill while they scored 50 of their own. One team fight here is going to separate a lead versus a continued point gain from eUnited here. Rushiez goes down. Just a quick moment, though. Revive back up from the wolf pack that his team is going through right now. TJ goes down. That's going to be a trade. They continue to go back and forth, but the man advantage is going to fall in the hands of Rise here. But what they do with that man advantage is going to be up to them, but they also get the quick spawn. That is going to be the real difference maker here.
Powerz crossed out. eUnited with the quick revive. It's a kill coming in from Rise and Dyslexic. It's a 3v3 situation. INZEM taking a blunt of that damage there coming out from eUnited. He's quickly revived again. And as Rise is rotating around the back spawn side, is TJ looking to stop them. Some solid L triggers, but no one there for him to get the revive. I think it's Rise, like you said, Jacob, earlier, playing like a LatAm style, playing close to the hip as a unit. Turned out to be very successful for them, as that's the key to them winning a lot of these team fights, being there for each other to negate the damage with that quick X.
I'm gonna close the gap here. Be a good amount of time. They bleed it dry, get around that 230 mark, but I want to see them rotate early, maybe 220, 225 at the most. Rise gonna have to lace them up and get hit in the rotation as Avexys catches out Demise. That's a big one, because not only you give yourself the advantage, you take out the frag grenade player in Demise. So it's gonna be a great positional hold from Avexys, as well as it looks like Rise stopped getting that point total to accumulate as they're getting the eliminations. That's just as good.
Just as good, especially when it comes down to them playing for the spawn. They know exactly what they got to get. Avexys has 2 shots left. He has his teammate in front of him. This other spawn's going to come to the other side of the map. He gets back into the fight. Double headshot from the sharpshooter himself. Avexys with a 3-piece. And that's going to be Rise for control over the spawns as they're looking to move down low towards P3. That gold hill to get the tie. And his play was as good as gold.
I'm trying to look at all the weapons. Nothing up for grabs right now. So eUnited's going to have to do it with all their stock weapons. Smokes and flashes when it comes to utility. They got to get Rushiez out of this spot first. But he just goes deep into the spawn, wasting no time, taking no damage, not wanting to give up any inches to this eUnited roster, and even dishing out some DPS of his own. Team is going to try to bypass Rushiez to try to take an advantage on the hill, but DeToX is waiting in the smoke to strike. Forcing it outward, but Dyslexic makes the play onto DeToX, goes up one in the advantage. Rushiez now joins the fight with a flank. Unable to capitalize just yet, but finally he finds one, but it's a little too late as all of his teammates will get dropped off of that fight. United have to get control of this back because they have to regain the lead.
That was huge from eUnited. All Rise had to do was continue to play wide, but they played up into the smoke and they gave eUnited those close range battles that they wanted, and they paid for it. And now the M-bar will go in the hands of Avexys. He gets it and he's starting to get set up for next. It's only going to be a 10-point lead. Oh my God!
That can't be one of those situations because that gets him frags as well. Not only to just deflate his opponent, he gets rewarded with frags. 16-second lead.
Yo, anybody got Will Smith's number? Because we need to forget that one. Oh boy, we're gonna move forward. It's eUnited, 20 points away from victory. M-bar's in Avexys' hands.
So big.
Misses the charge, misses the second shot. Rushiez holding his ground. Avexys can't connect with the body. He pulls out the shotty, tried to get back to his teammates. Rushiez moves in, but he goes down. Him and Avexys take it out. eUnited moves in, a team kill on a wrap shot. Leaves it as a 2v2 battle, but that's good for Rise. Rise can get here in his healing time. Powerz needs one kill to be a hero. Just one.
5 seconds is all eUnited need. Powerz holding the
just one. There you go. That's it. That's the kill. That's the dub. That's eUnited coming out on top of this series 3-1 and staying your best team in the Gears Pro League.
Gotta give it up to eUnited, who maintain control of that first place in a hard-fought battle versus Rise. But I said it, just looking at that map cycle, Blaze, it has nothing to do against Rise. It was that map cycle where I said Rise needs to win it in 3 because of District being map number 1. I kind of had Canals in the books for them, but eUnited winning that map number 1 in the fashion that they did really set the tone and the pace regardless of what happened in map number 2. You don't go ahead. You don't win series without controlling the power weapons. If you control the power weapons and don't use them, you're just asking the other team to win the game. And that's exactly what Rise did after map number 1, really not setting the tone in the entirety of the match. Because you got to imagine that was 3, 4, maybe 5 drop shots that were not used to effective range or anything of the sort that could have easily brought the momentum onto their side. 2-0 lead after map number 2. Rise can be singing the praise of first place, but no, that goes to Powerz and Dyslexic.
It does. It does. Man, what a series this one was, okay? And, you know, it comes like each of these last 4 maps that we played, they can come down to some little bitty moments, some little misplays from, you know, both these rosters where they could have, you know, came out on top. And I guess I'm more speaking of Rise, right? I feel like Rise let some big plays get from up under them. And I saw eUnited make some big plays throughout the last few maps. So kudos to them. And they come out on top of this series. eUnited, they played fantastic, all right? That Vasgar was so dominant. They picked apart Rise in the Canals, right? It went back and forth, well, sorry, not the Canals, but they picked apart Rise in that first control, okay? Where the heals was trading off, but they capitalizes off Rise's mistakes and the power weapons. And then we come on over here to this map, and it was a few mistakes that Rise made here as well. Rise had the early rotations. They got into some positions, but we saw a few blunders, missed shots, misplays with the power weapons, and you know, eUnited comes huge. Even that last hold on this gold hill for Rise, they should have won. That's the setup that they usually win, but they allow eUnited to break through. Dyslexic goes big as he's went throughout the entirety of the series. Dyslexic really probably, actually, yeah, Dyslexic may have been an MVP of the series if you ask me. We'll see the numbers later, but Rise wins that P3 hill in the second half. They forced the game 5. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. It was close on the controls. It was close in the escalation. And, you know, even the round base modes were close. 6-2 Rise, but this series is all eUnited as they remain on top.
I just want to say one thing, because I'm a firm believer that there's not one particular moment that kind of really cost the match. There's not one moment. There's one moment that you could have won the match off of, but there's not one singular moment you lose a match, right? So with that said, Rushiez, bro, he knows as well as I do. As soon as he missed that shot and died to Powerz there in the middle, I choked, and he probably hit his fist onto his knee, probably put the controller down, probably put his head down, because you got to think right there. I'm looking at it right now. I freeze framed it. I paused it. He dies at 264, 251. He wins that battle. He gets control of grenades. They have a man advantage. There's a fight going down on the hill. He has an extra angle. We're probably going game number 5. I'm not putting the blame on the Rushiez, but you had a chance to step up.
It's close. It's close. Rise had multiple times at the end there for them to be able to take that one. So it just kind of slipped through their fingers. All right. Anyway, kudos to eUnited. They stay on top. But now it's time to talk about our player today, because we've seen so many great ones thus far. All right. And so, but I guess it was one that stood out the most. So I present to you our eSwapX Pro Controller play of the day, none other than the Sales. And this was right after the reset for the victory up against Rebel. It was his 3K to seal this dub. Jacob, break it down.
I mean, realistically, that's a well-placed flash, because that starts exploits off on the wrong foot. It forces Identity to misroll into him. And then that last one, you had 7, 8, 9, 10 chances to kill a Cells into this one. And so even though it was a reset, you can have your controversies at the end of the day. You let a Cells run all over you like MC Hammer. Like, you cannot do that. You cannot
It was
do
hammer
that.
time.
It definitely was. And the Cells deserves the eSwapX play of the game.
He gets it. All right. Congrats to Sales. But that's going to do it for us here today. Man, you know, we still got a button to show up and recap and let you guys know how everything settled. And let's do that now. Recapping the scores for the day. It was closer than we've seen some of the other dates in Pro League. 3-2 victory for Team Queso. 3-1 for the Pioneers against Rebel. It was 3-0 the Knights up against Fire and Ice in our side station game. And then it was Rise falling to eUnited 3-1 to end us all off. So yeah, the closest day in Pro League I think we've had in a long time.
Definitely a very close one. I almost went Fury 1 in my predictions. I'll go ahead and say that. When I saw reflections go and vote Team Queso, I thought to myself, this is a moment. This is one of those matchups when it comes to predictions that we can disagree on. And I almost went, but I'm starting to like cheese a little bit more and more. Me and Ruth went out to hookah. I got myself some sliders with some cheddar cheese. They're growing on me, Blaze. Let me tell you that. It's more than just pizza now. And let me say, I may not like macaroni and cheese, Blaze, but I might have to cook something up with you. We might have to hit the kitchen together one day.
Hey, well, you know what, Jacob? I can make you a dairy-free mac. Don't worry about it. It tastes as good as the real one if you don't want the runs, okay? If you ain't trying to have the bubble guts, I got you, my boy.
Thank you.
All right.
So much.
Now, let's take a look at our standings, okay, for the league and see how it has settled with eUnited in position 1. PK right behind them at 6-1, 77% map win percentage. And I guess eUnited's gonna have to defend that first place once again, because I don't know if we've seen that matchup thus far.
Just for the sake of maths and me not doing it, I'm just gonna go ahead and say if Rebel and Rise both win their matchups, you got 1 and 2 down to 4 and 5, with Rebel and Rise probably fighting for first place half of win percentage, map win percentage.
Ooh.
So that one literally jumbled up or kind of solidified some of the placings here, but there's still a few matches to go to end the season. So there's still some changes that could come underway.
Definitely is still some change to come underway. Fire and Ice and Discipline going to try to avoid relegation next week best way that they can. And our teams in that top 5 and above, top 4 and above, are going to try to move around those places a bit. So we'll see how it's going to be. But I'll tell you one thing: you guys don't want to miss next week of Pro League, because our schedule for Tuesday coming up first for you guys to be able to watch is going to be Rise Nation versus Fury 1. And then we look at our second matchup of the day. It's Fire and Ice going up against Hive, as F&I, like I said, gonna try to avoid that relegation. That's a big match for them. Then finally, to end the day, Team Queso versus the Pittsburgh Knights. Whew, the way Team Queso been playing as of late, Jacob, you know they're looking forward to that matchup.
Yeah, might not be looking out to kind of win every single one of those series, but they definitely have the potential to upset so many teams in the Pro League, because you kind of know how it ends during that last day. Not even necessarily the last week, the last day. It's usually teams thousands of dollars on the line in each and every one of those matches. So Team Queso, even though they might not be fighting for first, they're fighting for more money. They're fighting for that cheddar, Blaze.
That cheddar, all right? Team Queso, fighting, for our hearts, even though it may sound cheesy, but they're fighting for the paper as well. We'll see if they can do it up against the Knights. But Jacob, that's going to do it for us today. Any final thoughts?
Hey, Blaze, my only thought here, and I'm going to say it week after week, like a broken song, like a broken, I don't even know what it's called at this point, just because I want to get the message out. Me, you, we need to figure out a way to get on E-Days, and we need to show these new players how it's done. I guarantee a victory or everybody's money back. That's as simple as that.
Or everybody's money back. There you go. It's either a victory for the Gassers or everybody's money back. All right. Give us a week to practice. We'll take on anybody. But that's going to do it for us here at the Gears Pro League, where we give you all the information, sometimes too much, sometimes just enough. But you know where to find us tomorrow. It's E-Days. Don't miss out. We'll be over there on UMG Gaming, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you then. And I hope you all have a fantastic night. Have a great one.